Representative Garbarino Walkinshaw just asked the Secretary of Homeland Security a simple question. Will you sell the $80 million Gulfstream jets and the Boeing 737 MAX that your predecessor purchased during a government shutdown while DHS staff were not getting paid? The Secretary's answer was no. He said the planes are assets for the Coast Guard. He said he is required to fly government planes. He said he has flown the Gulfstream to Oklahoma.
Have you flown the Gulfstream to Oklahoma?
Of course I have. I'm required to.
He did not say he would sell them. He did not say he would stop using them. He did not say he would show restraint. Walkinshaw said the Secretary is deficit riding on a Gulfstream G700 while Americans struggled to get by on their housing allowance. He yielded back. The Secretary kept the planes. Let's watch.
In any way that we can.
Thank you.
I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Thank you very much. And I now recognize the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Walkinshaw, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, do you recognize this?
Actually, no, I don't.
Okay. You stated that you have a different management style than Secretary Noem. And when you started, there were reports saying that DHS staff hoped that you could be the knight in shining armor to repair the agency's reputation, which was damaged by your predecessor. You mentioned earlier shutdowns and the impact that shutdowns have had on DHS. There's no question that's true. One of the things that the 2025 shutdown did not impact or slow down at DHS was the purchase of luxury jets. Your predecessor purchased 2 Gulfstream G700s, and then later, I think, a Boeing 737 MAX that they termed the big, beautiful airplane during the shutdown, while DHS staff were not getting paid. The Gulfstreams had special paint and cabin enhancements, the largest cabin of any Gulfstream. This is the top-of-the-line Gulfstream. An expert on private planes in the industry, when asked about the purchase, said it was, quote, bizarre, and that, quote, these jets are normally associated with billionaires. You just said you can't afford to visit the Hamptons. Neither can I.
Okay, I can afford
Hold on, I haven't asked you a question. On April 17th, a spokesperson from your agency said, under new leadership, DHS is assessing all of our resources, including aircraft, to maximize efficiency, and that you, the Secretary, 100% focused on ensuring the needs of our department are met while being the best possible steward of taxpayer dollars. That's April. On May 27th, it was reported that flight logs show that you have used one of the Gulfstreams to fly to Oklahoma, the $80 million Gulfstream. Have you used the Gulfstream jet to fly to Oklahoma, Mr. Secretary?
Sir, under statute, I'm required to provide...
You used the G700. Okay, thank you.
No, so, you asked me a question, sir. Can I answer the question?
You answered the question. You said
no, I didn't.
Yes.
No, because...
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman,
he's walking over an important fact.
You answered the question.
Again, we will remember, you get to ask questions, the witness gets to answer the question.
By statute, I'm required...
I'm familiar with the statute.
Okay, then you know why I have to fly a government plane.
Yep.
And so my family is in Oklahoma, like you
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman.
I also like to go
Reclaiming my time. It appears to me that you assessed the aircraft, and your assessment is you really like flying on the Gulfstream. As a senator,
Sir, you're making
reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman.
Questions and answers.
I didn't ask a question.
Okay.
He's making an assumption
As senator,
about something
Mr.
you're walking
Chairman, are
into
you going to
that
control
you're
the
not
witness?
familiar with, or you're using...
Suspend the clock,
Mr. Chairman.
Suspend the clock.
In the Senate...
Hold on, suspend the clock. Everything's suspended right now. Again, you have a statement, questions. Secretary, you can address the questions when there's a question. Members, as you know, we had some just read statements. When you have the time to answer and you want to say that something was not truthful, you can. You can answer the questions. But again, this is the members' time. We will let them use it as long as they do it within the rules, as they see fit. When you are asked a question, you will be afforded the opportunity, and the members should afford the witness the opportunity to answer the question. I do not want people, this is, when people are talking over each other, we're not actually getting to what we want to get to. So let's try not to do that. I appreciate it. We will add 10 seconds back on because I did suspend and the clock kept running. But again, please, Mr. Secretary, if something that is said is not truthful, you can address it, but just wait for the question to be asked. Wait for the question to be asked, and then you can address it.
Question asked, sir. He's making accusations just because he's trying to make a
Nothing I have said is untruthful, Mr.
Still me.
Doesn't make it fact just because
Still
you think
me,
you wanna
everyone.
say something.
Everything I've said is a fact.
That is not true.
It is.
It is not true.
Excuse me.
It is.
How do you
Excuse me.
think it's true? Factual because it's your opinion isn't anything.
I don't want to be here all day, but I will adjourn this until everybody calms down. We will, again, if something that is said is not truthful in a statement and the Secretary wants to address it when he's asked a question, he can say something was not truthful. He can answer the question, you can ask it. If you want to make your statement, you will make your statement. But we will not talk over each other. And Mr. Secretary, if you're not asked a question here and you want to address it when somebody asks you a question later, I'm sure some of my colleagues might allow that. But again, we are not going to be talking over each other. We have only a few more questioners to go through. Let's finish this. Questions, answers. If it's a statement, that's fine. But again, let's not talk over each other.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll share a fact. Mr. Secretary, when you were in the Senate, you voted for the so-called Big Beautiful Bill that blew up the deficit, trillions of dollars of deficit spending. And some of that was used to buy the Gulfstreams. You are deficit riding on a Gulfstream G700. So I want to give you the opportunity to answer a question. NBC News reported recently that the department was considering selling some of the luxury purchases that your predecessor made. And as you well know, I think, or certainly your deputy knows, there are other jets that could meet the needs of the Secretary. There's a Gulfstream G280. I don't know whether that would meet your standards, only $25 million, not $80 million. You have aircraft in the Coast Guard fleet. Folks who work for you are flying MH-65, a helicopter. They've been flying it since 1984. But Secretary Noem and you need a brand new, shiny Gulfstream G700. So my question for you is, will you commit today to sell the Gulfstreams, sell the big, beautiful plane, the 737 MAX, and put that money maybe into helping Mr. Lalota's constituents who can barely get by on their housing allowance?
Actually, those planes are inside the Coast Guard, so they were actually purchased for the Coast Guard.
Will you sell the planes?
Why do I need to sell them, sir? We need assets inside the Coast Guard, just like the DHS.
So you want to keep the Gulfstream, you want to keep the 737 MAX. You got to have top of the line.
737 MAX is actually detailed to the executive branch,
Yeah.
and I've never seen it. Oh, actually, I've seen it. I drove by it. I've never.
Have you flown the Gulfstream to Oklahoma?
Of course, I have. I'm required to.
All right, I yield back.
Well, actually, I don't fly it personally myself because I'm not a pilot.
Gentleman yields back.
Representative Garbarino Walkinshaw just delivered a masterclass in how to expose government waste, hypocrisy, and the disconnect between official priorities and the struggles of ordinary Americans. He did not come with a speech. He came with facts. He came with receipts. He came with the voice of constituents who can barely get by on their housing allowance. And he left no doubt about the answer. The exchange between Walkinshaw and the Secretary of Homeland Security was not just a routine oversight hearing. It was a confrontation about the fundamental question of whether government officials are accountable to the taxpayers who fund their operations. Walkinshaw began by laying out the facts. The 2025 government shutdown did not stop the Department of Homeland Security from purchasing luxury aircraft. His predecessor purchased 2 Gulfstream G700s and a Boeing 737 MAX during the shutdown while DHS staff were not getting paid. The Gulfstreams had special paint and cabin enhancements. They are the top of the line. An expert said the purchase was bizarre and that these jets are normally associated with billionaires. Walkinshaw pointed out that there are other jets that could meet the needs of the Secretary, like a Gulfstream G700s. Oh, that costs $25 million instead of $80 million. He pointed out that Coast Guard personnel are flying MH-65 helicopters that have been in service since 1984. But the Secretary needs a brand new shiny Gulfstream G700. The contrast could not be starker. Frontline personnel make do with aging equipment while leadership flies in the lap of luxury. Then, Walkinshaw asked the question, will you commit today to sell the Gulfstreams, sell the 737 MAX, and put that money into helping constituents who can barely get by on their housing allowance? The Secretary said the planes are assets for the Coast Guard. He said they were purchased for the Coast Guard. He said he is required to fly government planes. He said he has flown the Gulfstream to Oklahoma. He did not say he would sell them. He did not say he would stop using them. He did not say he would show restraint. He kept the planes. The defense was weak. The Coast Guard is a vital service, but it does not need $80 million luxury jets to perform its mission. The Coast Guard needs cutters, helicopters, and patrol boats. It does not need Gulfstreams with special paint and cabin enhancements. The Secretary knew that. He did not say it. He deflected. The exchange became heated. The Secretary tried to interrupt. Walkinshaw reclaimed his time. The chairman had to intervene. He suspended the clock. He told both sides to stop talking over each other. He said the witness gets to answer the question. He said the member gets to ask the question. He said they would not talk over each other. The tension was palpable, but the facts remained. $80 million for luxury jets, Coast Guard personnel flying outdated helicopters, government workers going without pay during a shutdown, and the Secretary defended the purchase. He said the planes are assets. He said they are needed. He said he is required to fly them. He did not say they are a priority. He did not say they are essential. He did not say they are worth the cost. Walkinshaw then connected the jets to the deficit. He said the Secretary voted for the so-called Big Beautiful Bill that blew up the deficit by trillions of dollars. He said some of that money was used to buy the Gulfstreams. He said the Secretary is deficit riding on a Gulfstream G700. That is a powerful image. The Secretary is flying in luxury while the deficit balloons. He is flying in luxury while government workers struggle. He is flying in luxury while constituents cannot afford housing. The contrast is stark. The hypocrisy is glaring. And Walkinshaw did not let him forget it. Walkinshaw's voice lands differently because of the facts he presented. He did not make vague accusations. He cited specific purchases. He cited specific costs. He cited specific reports. He cited the expert who called the purchase bizarre. He cited the spokesperson who said the department was assessing all resources. He cited the flight logs that showed the Secretary had used the Gulfstream. He did not need to exaggerate. The facts spoke for themselves. The Gulfstream G700 is not a necessity. It is a luxury. It is the kind of aircraft that billionaires buy to show off their wealth. It is not the kind of aircraft that a government agency should be purchasing while its employees are working without pay. The Secretary defended the purchase. He said the planes are assets. He said they are needed. He did not say they are a priority. He did not say they are essential. He did not say they are worth the cost. The larger issue here is not just about airplanes. It is about priorities. It is about whether the government serves the people or serves itself. It is about whether government officials show restraint or indulge in luxury. It is about whether taxpayer money is spent wisely or wasted. Walkinshaw made that argument. He said the government is asking Americans to accept difficult financial decisions. He said government leaders should also show restraint. He said the Secretary is not showing restraint. He is flying in luxury while constituents cannot afford housing. He is defending luxury purchases while government workers go without pay. He is prioritizing his own comfort over the needs of the people he serves. That is not leadership. That is entitlement. That is the kind of behavior that erodes public trust in government. The timing of the purchase is also damning. The shutdown was a time of crisis. Government workers were furloughed. Essential employees were working without pay. Families were struggling to make ends meet. And the Department of Homeland Security was purchasing $80 million luxury jets. The purchase was not essential. It was not urgent. It was not a priority. It was a choice. A choice to spend taxpayer money on luxury while the people who serve the public were going without pay. The Secretary defended that choice. He said the planes are assets. He said they are needed. He did not say they are a priority. He did not say they are essential. He did not say they are worth the cost. The contrast with the Coast Guard personnel is particularly striking. They fly MH-65 helicopters that have been in service since 1984. They do their jobs with outdated equipment. They do not complain. They do not demand luxury. They serve. But the Secretary needs a brand new shiny Gulfstream G700. He needs the largest cabin of any Gulfstream. He needs special paint and cabin enhancements. He does not need to be reminded of the cost. He does not need to be reminded of the priorities. He does not need to be reminded of the people he serves. Walkinshaw reminded him. He said the Secretary is deficit riding on a Gulfstream G700. He said constituents can barely get by on their housing allowance. He said the Secretary should sell the planes and put the money into helping people. The hearing ended without the Secretary offering a meaningful defense. He sat there. He listened. He deflected. He said the planes are assets. He said they are needed. He said he is required to fly them. He did not say they are a priority. He did not say they are essential. He did not say they are worth the cost. He did not say he would sell them. He did not say he would show restraint. He kept the planes. Walkinshaw had done his job. He had held him accountable. He had exposed the waste. He had made it clear that the American people deserve better. The question now is whether anyone in the administration is listening. The Secretary is still flying in luxury. The constituents are still struggling. The deficit is still ballooning. And the planes are still in the fleet. Until someone in power decides that the government should serve the people, not itself, nothing will change.